Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
Israel is at war with Hamas.
Budget cuts at UNK spark controversy.
And Nebraska celebrates its 4th official Indigenous Peoples Day.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Jackson Atwell.
And I'm Evie Storjon. Our top story today.
Lincoln celebrated the 4th annual Indigenous Peoples Day all throughout the capital city on Monday. Starting at the Indian Center for a sunrise ceremony on opening prayer at the Nebraska State Capitol and ending at the Indian Center for a traditional meal. The Great Plains Room on East Campus hosted a grand entrance for multiple speakers, dancers, and drummers. The gathering consisted of traditional Native outfits and dances. The events are meant to celebrate and uplift the strength, resilience, and beauty of Indigenous peoples. The events recognize the importance of Indigenous peoples in American history and their impact now. The Nebraska legislature officially approved Indigenous Peoples Day for October 9th in 2020 and will continue to be acknowledged for many years to come.
The University of Nebraska-Kearney is the first of 3 UN campuses to learn about potential cuts. University of Nebraska System President Ted Carter says the cuts are needed to close a $4.3 million budget gap. Students were protesting to show their displeasure about how the cuts could impact students and staff. Carter says the cuts must happen due to declining enrollment and inflationary pressures. It would mean ending degree programs in several majors. These include journalism, musical performance, and theater, among others. NU's other undergraduate campuses, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the University of Nebraska at Omaha, are expected to announce their proposed budget cuts or adjustments in the coming weeks.
Fighting in Israel is raging after Hamas breached the border in a surprise weekend attack from the Gaza Strip. Israel responded by pounding Gaza with airstrikes and formally declaring a state of war on Sunday, setting the stage for a massive military response. The U.S. State Department says it is working to verify reports of Americans killed or missing due to the attacks. Rob Kirkpatrick has the latest developments from the Middle East, and we want to warn you, some of the video we're going to show have graphic images and may be disturbing for some viewers.
Israel has declared a state of war after an unprecedented attack by Hamas on Saturday. Israeli officials say more than 600 people have been killed and thousands more are wounded since the attack. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel has the full support of the United States.
President Biden's direction was to make sure that we're providing Israel everything it needs in this moment to deal with the attacks from Hamas.
Israel continues its military response, destroying around 800 targets in Gaza, according to authorities. Near the Gaza border, Israel is now evacuating communities to get their citizens out of harm's way as they begin military operations.
Israeli military is united, ready on all fronts. Also, we've ramped up our defenses in the north. We've mobilized reserves. We are motivated to defend our country.
The Israeli Defense Forces say more than 1,000 Hamas fighters poured into the country on Saturday. Hamas also captured dozens of Israelis, holding them hostage, as well as some Americans, Israeli officials say.
I think it's scores of hostages. I can tell you there's also American hostages as part of that number as well. I don't want to get into a specific number, but these are women, they're children.
The IDF says it will exhaust all options to get the hostages back.
What I can tell you is that we're not going to stop until we exhaust every means possible of doing so. We will not leave any person behind, and we will do anything to make that happen.
I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
Governor Jim Pillen announced Monday that all U.S. and Nebraska flags are to be flown at half-staff beginning Tuesday at sunrise to honor the victims in Israel. The flags are to be flown at half-staff until sunset on Thursday. The war between Israel and Hamas is in its 4th day, and President Biden announced the U.S. death toll in the war stands at 11 people.
Sunday afternoon, Lincoln Northwest held its official dedication ceremony. The celebration marked a day that several students, staff, and parents have been waiting for. It's been a little over a year since the high school opened its doors to 9th through 11th grade students. This year, the school welcomed its first senior class. For the 2022-2023 school year, Northwest had 510 students. Now there are 925 students across all 4 grade levels. While only spending 2 years at the school, staff said the dedication and proactiveness of Northwest's first senior class have solidified their legacy. Both Lincoln Public Schools superintendent and the president of the Board of Education spoke at Sunday's ceremony, congratulating the students and staff on paving the way to a legacy they are all proud of.
The numbers were drawn Monday night for an estimated $1.55 billion Powerball jackpot that ranks as the world's 4th largest lottery prize. The winning numbers announced were 16, 34, 46, 55, 67, and the Powerball number was 14. The top prize has grown so large because it has rolled over for 34 consecutive drawings. The last time someone won the top prize was on July 19th. This streak is second in Powerball history, behind a 41-draw dry spout in 2021 and 2022. That jackpot was a whopping $2.04 billion, hit by a player in California in November of 2022. The scarcity of Powerball jackpot winners reflects the game's long odds of merely 1 in 292 million, odds designed to make winning rare and grand prizes huge. The $1.55 billion prize is for a sole winner who is paid through an annuity, receiving annual checks over a 30-year period. Most jackpot winners opt for a cash, which are on Saturday night's drawing would have been $679.8 million. It's
warming up and storms are forecasted later this week. Nebraska Nightly's meteorologist Logan Schlottman has your latest forecast.
Well, I don't think you could ask for a better weather day in the state of Nebraska with mid to high 70s here across the state with 79 over in Scottsbluff and our low of 68 over in Omaha with 74 down in Lincoln. These temperatures are going to stay like this for probably the next 3 days before we start dipping down to the lower 50s. But our surface analysis, we're going to be seeing the stationary front cutting from Montana all the way over to the East Coast, with most of the precipitation that's going to come to us in the next 3 days is going to be over from Wyoming all the way up to Washington. We're going to see that move through with this warm front that's going to be bringing also some Gulf Coast moisture. It's going to make its way up over into Missouri and Lincoln, but we're going to see a lot of that stuff over in the Rockies. It's going to make its way over here around 36 hours from now, and we're still going to have that warm front that's still going to go across just the southern border of Nebraska, and it's going to stay there for a little bit. Our radar, we're going to see a low pressure that we saw over here. It's going to start churning a little bit and start bringing a lot of that moisture around there and start building it up. We're going to see also a couple outflow boundaries here on the eastern part of Nebraska is going to really pick up some storms and really make some of that rain that we're going to be seeing in those next 3 days. For your rain chances, like I said earlier, for those 3 days is all we're going to have for rain with 70 to 60% chances from Wednesday through Friday. Then we go down to 0 for the rest of the day. So those 3 days are going to be very wet, but then it's going to be very dry and nice. And for those 3 days, these are our rain totals from the National Weather Service. We're going to be seeing Nebraska is going to be down in the 0.5 all the way up to 5 inches of rain. So if you're in the northern part in O'Neill and around probably Valentine, Nebraska, expect maybe some serious flooding or some flash floods for Friday. And we see also for our Friday, our convective outlook, most of the severe storm that's going to be staying right now is going to be in Lincoln and Omaha with a little bit of marginal, around a 50-mile radius outside of it. That can also change in the next 30 days. Our highs are going to be going up all the way to the 70s from 78 to 77 on Thursday before we plateau down into a flat line and probably just 56s for the next 4 days and keeping it like that. So it's going to be very nice after. But like I said, it's going to be a very rainy weekend for these next 3 days, with temperatures going to be in the mid-70s with 78 with some chances of thunderstorms with the east-southeast wind of 8 to 11 before we dip down to 56 on Friday, still with some chances of rain for the most severe day. But we're going to be seeing higher winds of west-northwest from 17 to 26 with gusts all the way up to 39 miles per hour. So be ready for Friday. But we're going to see tonight's forecast is going to be 52 degrees with a 20% chance of thunderstorms with an east-southeast wind of 8 to 10 miles per hour. With our 5 to 2 p.m. forecast going from 73 degrees and sunny all the way to 57 degrees with some thunderstorms. Most of that is going to be happening at around 11 p.m. And looking at our week ahead, like I said, we're going to be seeing the rain for those first 3 days, but then the next 4 days is going to be cookie cutter days. It's going to be the same thing, mid-50s with low 40s, and it's going to be mostly sunny. And that's all I have for today. We'll take it back to the desk.
Thank you, Logan. Coming up after the break, Husker football defeats Illinois 20-7.
The Nebraska soccer team defeats the Hawkeyes on senior night.
And volleyball remains undefeated at 15-0. More after the break.
The need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Well, Evie, we had another win for Husker football this last weekend.
That's right, Jackson. It actually has me excited for future football games now.
Very true. Trey Marler has more with sports. Trey?
Well, the Huskers are riding high, flying high into the bye week after a Friday night victory in Champaign. Huskers were looking to rebound after a Friday night contest in Champaign. Dick Butkus honored passed away on Thursday. Opening drive for Illinois, the Blackshirts say not so fast as they stand tall at the goal line. Tony White is fired up early. Huskers offense looking to capitalize as Tristan Alvano nails 31-yard field goal. Huskers go out in front 3-0. Offense driving again, and Anthony Grant takes it up the middle. Does he get in? Yes, he does. Huskers extend their lead to 10-0. Moments later, after an Illinois fumble on the kick, Heinrich Harburg takes it himself, and he finds pay dirt. Huskers grow up 17-0 and don't look back, defeating the Illinois Illini 20-7.
We were better than we were last Saturday, but we weren't, which doesn't matter. So tonight, and then, let's just say they came down, they scored, and they would have won that game. It would have been Minnesota all over again, right? Well, no, we're getting better. I just really hope people, instead of just jumping ahead to what we're going to be and all this, I just hope they kind of enjoy this ride.
Senior day at Barber-Hindner Stadium, 4 seniors were honored as the Huskers played host to the Iowa Hawkeyes. Stop me if you heard this one before. Eleanor Dale with the goal as Huskers lead 1-0 in only 3 minutes of play. 7th minute now, and Sarah Weber finds the back of the net to extend the Husker lead. Huskers go up 2-0 and don't look back, downing the Hawkeyes 4-2. Nebraska volleyball went on the road this weekend with back-to-back contests with Michigan State and Michigan. Huskers pick up the win 3-1 versus Michigan State and defeat Michigan in the Harper Murray homecoming tour 3-1. The 2023 Big Ten Media Days were in full swing inside the Target Center in Minneapolis. A lot of eyes on the Huskers, who bring in the oldest team in the Big Ten. 3 Huskers represented the team in Minneapolis: Rink Mass, the transfer from Bradley University, the veteran C.J. Wilcher, who will be spending his 3rd season under Hoiberg, and the Lincoln native coming home, Josiah Alec, who transferred from New Mexico State in the offseason.
That is going to be a challenge, but it's a good challenge, for us, and a good problem to have is when you have great depth. And, our big thing right now is figuring out the rotation. We had our first inter-squad scrimmage of fall camp last week, and we're going to have another one on Thursday. And, that's where you figure out who's going to be in your rotation.
Well, Trey, we've been having a lot of success with sports this last week.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Actually, the hockey team we met with on Friday won 4-2 this weekend. Football won 20-7. Michigan State, Michigan down by Nebraska volleyball. It was a really good weekend for the Husker sports.
Yeah, this has just got Me personally hyped up. I can tell on your face you're very excited.
It was a good week. They needed this. It was fun.
And with a bye week coming up, hopefully we can pull out a win.
Hopefully we can pull another win against Northwestern. 2:30 kick that was just announced this week, so should be good. Should be fun.
That's true. All right, coming up after the break on Nebraska Nightly, UNL is promoting wellness with Pilates and lattes.
A tattoo parlor pops up on campus.
Plus, therapy dogs arrive to campus for midterms time, all after the break.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more.
3, 2, 1.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big boss!
Here you can build skills, no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome back. There are a few things on campus to help you through this busy midterm season. Entertainment reporter Madeline Fox has the latest.
Thanks, Evie. The UNL Recreation Center is offering a Pilates and Lattes class on October 12th from 8 a.m. to 8:50 a.m. If you love an energizing Pilates class, you may also love being rewarded with a latte afterwards. Coffee will be brewed by the wellness team with different pumpkin and apple drink options for the fall. You could stop by before your early morning classes for a perfect way to start the day. You can register or find out more at events.unl.edu. Nebraska's Programming Council is holding Sue's Pop-Up Tattoo Parlor this Wednesday. You can get tattoos in between classes from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Nebraska Union Plaza Arcade. If you don't want anything permanent right now, you can try out a free temporary tattoo. The arcade is located on the fountain side of the Union. For more information, you can check out at UPC Nebraska on Instagram for all of the details. With midterms coming to a close, there is an easy and affordable way for you to de-stress. On Thursday, the university is hosting Big Red Pop-Up, where there will be certified therapy dogs in Love Library and the Dinsdale Learning Commons for students and staff. If you can't make it this week, don't worry. This is a monthly event held by Big Red Resilience and Wellbeing to make sure students can stay de-stressed. For more information, you can visit events.unl.edu. That's all for entertainment this week. Back to Evie and Jackson at the desk.
Well, thank you, Madeline. I'll tell you what, Jackson, I am so excited for the Big Red Pop-Up. I am a huge dog lover. How about you?
Oh, I love dogs, yeah. I've had dogs ever since growing up, and I tended to have kind of like smaller dogs, but I do like those big ones that are just fluffy and easy to kind of cuddle with and stuff. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching Nebraska Nightly. Nebraska Nightly is a student production of the University of Nebraska College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Tune into our next show Friday at 4:30. Have a great night.